Serpent barrier ophiuchus. Very nice. Very cool. Okay. Welcome, everyone. Again, I'm so grateful to have you. And so let's actually begin at the beginning of this gathering that we've all come kind of into council for. So, it is the new moon right now, new moon, new lunar event beginning. It's also the beginning of the astrological year. So we're actually kind of taking another step. We've been doing a lot of work since we have been meeting on 1/1 this year. For those, I know there are some that have actually been coming to a few of these, and so much appreciation for your support. But we've been doing this work of repeated kind of new beginnings coming through, first with 1/1 and as well with the spring equinox. And I think there's been so many new moons in between. I feel like we're still in kind of the nascent kind of birthing moment of the beginning of this year, and we're slowly going to be moving now into kind of that fiery summer energy, right? And something in which everything is fully blossomed and everything kind of is fully manifested. And so we're not quite there yet, but we're kind of heading in that direction. We're on the path and we're on the road. And I think that there's nothing quite like a new moon in a fire sign to really allow for those doors to open for us so that what we desire is manifested, so that we are in connection to our magic, that we are connection to our fire. And it's kind of like the crop of all the seeds that we're planting now. The more work you do into planting all those seeds, the more flowers bloom at the end, the more food blooms at the end, the nourishment. And so I think that with this new moon into the new astrological year, we're really doing another push into something new. And I think that's very exciting. And I think that's very kind of interesting to watch, like what's going to come from this. As some of you may know, we've had a few planets in retrograde in the past, but we're still in this period right now of no planets in retrograde. And we've literally got one more basically month or so until Pluto goes into retrograde and we start pulling in some karma. So before all of that happens, we have this ability right now in this moment of this new moon in this Aries sign to really listen to all of the energy that's available to us. And as all these planets are moving direct, we too can kind of be directed as well as begin to direct ourselves and our energy into something kind of fabulous and new and more aligned with what we really want. So that is, I think, kind of what is very exciting about this moment. And for those of you who have been following me, and for those who are new, welcome still. I, being someone who's pulling lineage from Babylon and from alchemy and kind of the mysticism that goes with the people of the book, it is Ramadan starting tomorrow. So I'm really excited because I personally love Ramadan. I didn't celebrate as a child, and so I choose to celebrate now. And it's really a big part of, I think, my connection to my knowing of myself. And I think for those who do celebrate, not, Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak, both to those who are celebrating and not. The moment of choosing to fast is not just a remembrance of, kind of the fact that there are people who are less fortunate than us. So that is, in fact, the number one. I guess actually what I should say is it's not just about the feasting after that remembrance. It's really more about the fact that we are getting closer to ourselves in this holiday season, and we are coming into a time of really listening to where is our place in this lunar cycle, among the stars, among the universe, among the galaxies. Where is our place, and how can we, as we are sitting both seeing the less fortunate and ourselves kind of victims of our own stories, how can we kind of reconcile all of this, and how can we, with the divine above, the earth below, and us in between, basically do better and be kind of the way we want to be. which is very much also what this new moon in Aries is about, is how can we be and act in the way that is our willpower outwards and is our kind of desires coming to us, instead of constantly having to deal with all these things that just get in our way and frustrate us. Let's just open the channel for the fire to come through. And so Ramadan is a really amazing holiday for that kind of energy. And I'm going to start fasting. So for those who will be coming to the few Ramadan events that I will be holding, which include our monthly gatherings of the 1 hour trance work and the 1 hour alchemy class, we're going to be doing 2 Ramadan specific sessions this month. So please keep an eye out for that. If you're interested, it's on my Eventbrite right now, but it'll be posted probably tonight on Facebook and on Meetup. So it'll be out there. But yeah, we'll be doing one based on my favorite surah of the Quran this year. And we'll also be doing one on the Miraj, which is the dream journey of the Prophet. Now, I'm not here to preach to anyone, so I just will be opening this opportunity for us to speak from my channel and to invite you to learn more about yourselves and your magic and your wisdom through the wisdom of my channel. And so you're always invited to take only what you want from my work. But I since it is Ramadan, of course, I love to say, Ramadan Kareem and Ramadan Mubarak to those who are celebrating, or if not, I wish you a happy Ramadan anyways. And so I know that we're sort of already, I've spoken a lot. So I think the final thing that I'll say about this Aries new moon is Aries is, of course, oh yes, I'd like to talk a little bit about the deities that we'll be working with today. So I'll just give a general overview and then we go into a little bit more work in the session. So I'm kind of calling in the ruler of Aries. Aries is kind of true fire expressed, right? And much hearts, yes, absolutely. Thank you. And it's true fire expressed, right? It's really confidence, it's courage, and because of all of this, it's often associated with Eris or Mars, who is kind of a warrior deity, right? And so we are in each of our own ways kind of warriors on this path. And I'm not here to prescribe anything to you. If warrior medicine doesn't feel right, that's okay. You don't have to hold it. But that is the energy of this moment, is the warrior Mars. And so we'll be working with kind of 4 energies around this fiery, intentful moment. The first will be Khanum, who is the ram god of ancient Egypt. And he is, it's interesting because he, along with the 2 of the 3 other Mars figures that we'll be discussing, is actually not just kind of Mars relational, but is also connected to water and to earth. So Khanum is deeply resonant with the Nile, and Shiva, who is the Hindu representation of Mars and is basically one of the first deities that I came into contact with on my spiritual path. And so I always honor him for kind of opening the doorway for me. Shiva is the Hindu version of Mars, and so he actually represents the Ganga or the Ganges as well. And finally, I think Tyr, who is in the Norse tradition, is also representative of a river, but please don't quote me on that because I didn't get time to verify it, but I believe that is in fact the case. And so these warriors, the energy of the warrior around Aries and around Mars is not just the fiery and the kind of virility, the masculine, you might say, though that is, I think, a very beautiful actually aspect and can be used as a tool just like any other energy. But what I love is that there's this softness to these warriors. And so Khanum is a creator. He's a creator of mankind. He sculpted us out of clay. And Shiva as well, he's the destroyer, but what he does is he welcomes new beginnings, right? He opens the pathway by closing the last cycle. And then Tyr as well is the forgiving warrior. Tyr isn't Thor and he isn't Odin. He's Mars, and he is the one who got his arm basically bitten off, and he chose to forgive his assailant. And that story is much more complicated. But if you read it, the story of Tyr is also one of nuance and kind of understanding, what I might say are unfair cycles and unfair kind of prejudices and things of that nature. So Tyr is this kind of very thoughtful warrior. And so let's see, what else did I want to say about that? And I think then you have Mars, who is Aries in the Greek tradition. He's much more kind of that sort of typical fiery energy that we can also call in. Can someone please, or I asked that Demarcus be removed, please. Yes, get that obsidian, because actually we will be working with, okay. I'm sorry that we are having difficulty here. Let's just go ahead and remove. Okay. So sorry about that. I think we might have to turn the chat off going forward. I'm still trying to keep the opportunity for folks to talk available, but I am sorry about that. All right. Well, at least it wasn't before we began our meditation. So we can all take a deep breath. And I apologize very much for that interruption. I do my best to keep this space safe for everyone, but unfortunately they all come through. So thank you for your patience. I am sorry. And yeah, Heather, I feel you. Sorry about that. Thank you all. Okay, so I'm just going to rename the gods one more time for us all because of that issue. So we're going to be working with Shiva, who is Mars in the Hindu tradition, and he's a destroyer, and he's also related to the moon and the Ganges. And we've also got Eris and Mars, and he is kind of the fiery energy, the full fire, the real warrior with his chest out, and he's kind of proud, and he's got the charisma and everything. And then we've got Tyr, who is in every way the forgiving warrior, the compassionate, and also the strategizing warrior. And so that's very interesting and intuitive in its own way. And finally, we've got Khnum. I know someone asked how to spell that, so it's Khnum, Khnum, and he is the ram god, and also he is the connection of this Aries kind of fire and warrior and creation energy. I see some folks have obsidian, bloodstone, citrine, and aventurine. These are all perfect stones, I think. Yeah, you got it. No worries. And an obsidian knife, we need it, right? That's actually an amazing tool. Mine, unfortunately, just broke and I need to get a new one. But today I also have my deer knife. So without further ado, we've spoken for a while because I had a lot to say and a lot of exciting things to talk about. Let's go ahead and get started with the music. We'll be doing 2 meditations, and I ask that if you can, it is very important to stay for both, as the first is a healing kind of intention and allows us to align. And then the second is where you actually get to work with these deities and you get to welcome them into kind of being sort of more open, more contemplative, and kind of really receiving the download and magic of this moment. So if you want to do the sort of magical part, it's best to stay till the end if you can. And I've taken up more time than I expected. So no, I guess it's about the right time, but let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Now, since we had some kind of intense vibes, I'm going to just do a little bit of clearing before we begin. We might mute the chat. You got it. Oh, thank you, Joanna. Yes, I actually did feel a change. So thank you for that. And I'll just do a little feathering as well. But I appreciate the energy work from my community. Blessings. Blessings to your heart, blessings to one another, blessings to each and every one of us in this space. And thank you for your patience. Your souls are all important and very valuable and beautiful. So I'm glad. I'm glad to be sharing. Okay. And this is using the energy of the pheasant. Sending this to your heart. Anywhere else, cutting that heavy energy. And then we'll do a little bit on mine just to remove that. And we're also going to clear everyone's third eye for a second. We'll be doing a little more work, but just to get started, we're just going to bring it down one last time, cross all the aura now. Now it goes. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for sharing this wisdom and space with me. We'll do a little anointing to bring some good energy in after some difficulty. Okay, and a little bit for me as well. If you have your anointing oil, you can begin by anointing yourself. Forehead is best, and then you can also do back of the head, back of the neck, and back of the head. Okay. So let us now begin being in the moment of now. We allow the breath to be natural where it is. No force, just kind of an initial check-in with our bodies. And we'll move now into some breath work. So when I say 9, we'll breathe in. And when I say 9, we'll breathe out. And with this welcoming of the energy of 9, we are also welcoming an ending of all events, moments, memories, and thoughts and expressions before this very moment. So I'll guide you, and then we'll do a few breaths just together. Well, I'll guide you the entire way, but I'll really guide you to start. Breathing in 9. Breathing out 9. Breathing in 9. Breathing out 9. Now we'll go together. 9. And 9. Nine. 9. We'll do one more big breath now as I count us. When I count us, Breathing in fully from the tips of the toes to the top of the head, really expanding the stomach, and then letting it all fall and release. 9. And 9. Let us all now bring focus to our foreheads and to the place between our brows. We may even choose to, with our seeing eyes, look up and into the forehead towards the brow and start to feel that portal exist, open, opening this doorway to our third eye today, our inner vision. Opening to our awakening now, an awakening of spiritual sense, of body-mind sense. And as we see, as we feel, our head might feel a little funny, or our ears might ring, but that's okay. We're working on releasing, witnessing, seeing, and releasing of all blockages to our vision. And as we are coming into this awareness, we are allowing ourselves to rest and to dream, not to slumber, but only to a welcome our dreaming, listening self as we are moving deeper into the spiritual reality of now. We might be feeling a lot of thoughts, circular thinking, obsessive mind. We're understanding these thoughts and stepping out of them, stepping out of memory, stepping out from troubled self, and instead letting it all be at rest and dream. tracking the many tendrils of thought, letting them drop like feathers, and letting the body drop too, as we are opening psychic awareness. The body rests. Let's allow for tension also to drop, releasing tension in the joints, releasing tension in the stomach. All keeping the focus on the ever opening eye at our forehead, stepping further and further into the sparkling reality in which we are at every moment a part of. And as we are focusing into this third eye, we now connect it to its supporting pillars of the throat, the two sides of the neck as they connect to the head. If you want, you can always put Reiki hands there, or in some way hold them, but you're not necessarily called to if you don't want to. Relax and releasing into our story here. And also moving into the energy of supporting the way in which you view and see yourself, your worldview, and your expression of self and worldview. welcoming in the knowing that you are a power, your wildness, your unusual self that hides at the center of the self that constructed in order to conform. At the center of you is the wild power. And we are releasing the floodgates of the throat chakra so that your truth, your story, your identity is a part of your aura. Allowing for the knowledge now that our vision and our expression are deeply connected, allowing for the energy to blend as we see and express ourselves as part of the reality we live in, as part of the controller of the person that we are and the person we are actively co-creating to become. You are one whole being with many parts. Breathing out that energy. And now let us see the mirror of the throat chakra, which is the stomach chakra. If our stomach feels activated or anxious, let us now calm it. Spending time, this is a great time to put your hands on your stomach. If you are especially Reiki certified, you can use your Reiki hands. Or if you'd like to just put your hands on your stomach, you can send your own personal lightning as if there was a little opening of universe power, not coming from you, but from the universe, moving into your stomach, with your hands simply acting as open doorways. Let's breathe into the stomach. The stomach chakra is the place of our fire, of manifesting of our will, of our power, our confidence of self, and our self-esteem. So we are checking in, taking in how the stomach sees and feels, and relaxing, releasing, healing. I'm going to send some Reiki, actually, just. Grounding us into our power, into our confidence, trusting that we deserve to be confident, as we are here to do the work of taking our power back, of opening ourselves to new ways of being, and of the confidence of the true and authentic self. Owning that we deserve to be in control of our story, of our movement, of our strength, in control over the path that we walk, in control and empowered in all that we do. And so, as we are welcoming in strength, control, power, the ability to take the reins back on our lives. Let us now also let in, if you have your hands on your stomach, or if not, simply allowing in or sending in the energy of fire now, so that all that is overstimulated is replaced only by pure fiery power. Feeling that heat as our power rises. Everything being replaced by the fire, so that all of our consciousness is fire. The flame moving up into our heart space, fiery wisdom traveling up and down the spine, fire returning to throat and third eye as well, replacing all consciousness with powerful fire. Let us let this fire become embedded now and forever. It's a part of our spirit, a part of our willpower, and a part of the very source of the divine creation within, connecting to all forms, all time, future, past, all places and energies in our life, in connection through to our fire always. And so this concludes the first meditation. We'll leave the music on as we'll have a 5-minute break, maybe a little less, maybe like 4 minutes. This is a great time to, if your tea water has been boiling, put the bag in, or get yourself some water if you need to use the restroom. And then we will, in a couple of minutes, move into our second meditation and our work with the deities and the energy of Mars, as well as kind of a little bit of spiritual transformation. So please stay tuned if you're able to. If you feel called, it's always great to have you subscribe to the newsletter if you'd like to stay in touch. And otherwise, if you feel like you are able to, it's always great to also receive any energetic support or exchange so that this work can be done more smoothly. But I'm understanding that sometimes all we need is to receive too. So thank you. And we'll be beginning in another 2 to 3 minutes. Started talking when I was muted. All right, let's go ahead and switch the music over. If anyone is still grabbing stuff, you can settle and join us when you're ready. It's always good to be mindful of everyone's time. Even I've been running over a few times recently, so trying to be mindful. Okay. So we will begin the second meditation by first offering our gratitude and then moving in. And so now I call in the great powers that be, so that with great gratitude for all they do, and with humble requests for them to help us today on this journey and on this path, this dream path tonight, under the new moon in Aries. I call in the 7 directions, calling in the north, the place of the ancestors, the spirit guides. I call in the east, the place of new beginnings and new opportunities and chances. I call in the south, the place of our fire, of the sun. I call in the west, the place of endings. I call in the below, the spirits of those who have lived on this planet, Mother Gaia, Pachamama, for those of us who are living in Turtle Island. I call upon the great above, Uranos, Father Sky, Father Universe, Allah. And I call upon the center, the place in our hearts, the I am of our awareness. I call in your guides, your animals, your ancestors in their wellness. Your elemental friends, your deities. Calling in any other little people, fairies, jinn, any beings that are with you or speak to you. I now call in my guides, my beings, calling in the great Ishtar, Venus Mother, the warrior goddess with her armor, her great sword and spikes. I call in the great father Ninurta of Babylon, father of mankind, the exorcist, the warrior, the thunder being, Capricorn Saturn, the slayer of the Anzu bird and the great demons of the earth, the protector of the tablets of time and destiny, the great being who resides and protects us all. And I call in Father Mercury in his many faces, his many ways, and great gratitude for his protection of me and of my energy. And finally, calling in the great moon, Artemis, Hecate, the Hoth, Selena. Thank you to all who watch over us. I finally offer as well prayers to those beings tonight, to Khanum, who sits at the potter's wheel. We offer you our praise, ancient self-created one who ruled at Elephantine, River Master. Yours is the stone within the earth, the silt of the Nile. Yours is the work of the builder, O granter of skill, of resource, of power. O Khanum, with your blessing of body and breath, our worth and our substance are within us, unique and innate. O shaper of humanity who molds us one by one from clay, each fashioned with art and with care. You, great ram, fighting ram who chases his foes. We call to you to set every person in their place and to allow us to become multiform as you are. I hail Mars, I hail Aries, I hail Tyr, and I offer my prayer for Shiva as a final close to this prayer to all of our beings around us. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukavimabandhanan Mrityor Mukshe Amamritahat Om. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukavimabandhanan Mrityor Mukshe Amamritahat Om. Bismillah. And so now, as we are in this room and in this space, and we have called all of these beings to us in this moment, we hear now the call of spirit to move into the next realm, the next dimension. We are, as the ram being called by the shepherd, now moving up and out of this room into the clouds, into the galaxies and stars, contemplating our travel, our dream journey into our new place of healing tonight. And so if you have your guides around you, or if you hear them calling to you, follow that trail, moving through interdimensional and multidimensional space. Seeing a light or a landscape at the end of this tunnel. moving into stepping down on the other side of the spirit realm. You may be in the lands of your ancestors here, surrounded by springtime green, or the desert, or a rainforest or jungle. And ahead of you is a temple made just for you under this new moon, in this moment of dream, in this new astrological moment, in this beginning of Ramadan. To me, it is a pyramid, but to you, it may be any holy building that is sacred to your ancestors. Taking in this temple, and if you are ready, entering, if you have not already, or if you have, wherever you are, moving into the center of this temple space, this pyramid, or this healing hut, or this any place. Coming into the place that has been prepared for you spiritually on the other side today. You may receive any downloads from your guides or wisdom or advice. And now we may see around us as well that we are greeted by the divines, our guides as well of this moment, Hanum, Shiva, Aries, Tyr. We remember and honor them as each of them four stand around us in our four corners. If you'd prefer to work with more feminine energy, we can also call in Athena, Artemis, Hecate, whoever it feels best. Shakti. We listen for any downloads meant specifically for you. We are given gifts of courage, of passion, given strength and the wisdom of the warrior. As we receive the message meant first, only just for each and every one of us. You may see Ninurta there too. Feel like he came in and asked me to call him, for he is also a warrior. And they place us now in an empty ceramic basin so big that the lip is almost around our neck or our head and we can kind of peek out. And we are also given armor and a staff or a shield or a sword, perhaps even a trident or a mace, any instrument. It could even be something that is not a weapon, but something that is in some way a part of your warrior. And your tool as a warrior is given to you as you are placed in this sacred basin for your healing. These beings remind us now of the battles that we have carried with us throughout time. Cycles in our memory, some of the most difficult things returning that we do our best every day to fight through in order to be present. Receiving now strength and courage to the battles of the inner child. The deities placing their hands on your shoulders or on your ceramic bowl that is heating, melding with your feet, with your body, as you are being welcomed to change, to move these cycles into something new, releasing battles of the father and the mother, seeing them, recognizing, and yet easing into the gift of your warrior wisdom, the knowledge of these battles that are karmic and go back through many lives and across many generations, bringing in love to your warrior self, to your shadow self, to your cyclical self. And as we breathe into our ability to stand here in this moment, at this cusp of new beginnings, Mars, Aries, Shiva, Khanum, Tyr, Athena, any deities or guides that are speaking to you, offer you the reminder that the warrior is only strong, or is best strong, through unity and through alliance of the self, as well as alliance with the world around them. That war is as much about thought and consideration as it is battle. For the best battle is the one not fought at all, but instead walked away from, removed from, shifted away, destroyed through the power, the fiery ring of Shiva, the Nataraja. And so our cycles, our past battles are seen today so that we may be reminded that we all go through cycles of strength and weakness, that we are multitudes and not a monolith. But that we deserve to be reminded, to move through the strength and the vulnerability. And that we become thoughtful calculators and planners for our victories to come and for the battles that are worth our time in fighting. Let us no longer waste our time on people and experiences and ways of thinking about ourselves that do not serve us. For once again, the best battle is the one not fought at all. Arrows and swords in our backs, darts, and shadowy energy are pulled now from our aura as we come into our truth, that we are only here to fight the battles for our success, for our self-protection, for our desires to come to fruition, and for the world to become a better, safer, and happier place. We welcome back the fire of the stomach within this basin, as the deities now tell us that we are here to seal our warriors' wisdom, our strengthening, and our regaining of control through the fire. Regaining control of our masculine lineages. Regaining control of our feminine lineages. Becoming the magical adult that our inner child needed. We call in our limitless fire at the heart of our stomach, and now beginning to burn at the bottom of this ceremonial ceramic basin that heats us and moves our molecules, moves our warrior energy, changing everything up, recycling, ending, rewriting. The fire coming in through all as they each now give us their wisdom. Hanum the ram placing his hands on your shoulders or near you in a way that feels comfortable, reminding you to always be stubborn in forming a life that suits you, your needs and your happiness. So that you are free of the battles of the past. Turning to Aries and Mars, feeling that jolt of electricity that is your charisma and your smile, that is your authority over yourself, your authority that must be respected by each and every other being. Calling in Tyr to the wounded warrior. Tyr addresses you, reminding you that there are always battles lost, but that nonetheless, there will always be battles won. And now Shivaji comes to you and smiles divinely with his knowing, gentle, calm, and serene, and yet deeply powerful Swami warrior self. And he invites you to relax into the fact that every moment of life is a new adventure, that we all go through our trials, that we can always begin again. And Shiva becomes the Nataraja, dancing in the circle of fire, third eye open wide. As we see now that this ceramic basin that we are in, with the fire beneath, is in a world shifting. The pyramid that was once a generator for our power, with our foundation beneath us and the universe above, has become a volcano. And we are just below the entrance at center in the magma chamber, in our own ring of fire. The great power of the volcano of Madame Pele beneath us, of Vulcan, Hephaestus. This place that is, as a natural pyramid and energy generator, a rupture in the crust of the earth that allows for fiery lava, ash, gas, and the makings of new earth to burst forth out of the many chambers beneath the surface. Our ceramic bowl is our vessel protecting us through these magnificent oceans of liquid lava. As we are traveling amongst the chambers now, energy around us being rewritten, re-upgraded, and opened with great power of the volcano to open us in this new pathway, this new moon, into the very essence of our courage, our confidence, our esteem, and our ability to walk with grace and power in this wondrous universe. The boiling of this fire, of this magma, is growing now. And we can feel the heat and the glow of this place, showering us with the blessings of a new time and place to come. Feeling within us the waves of our fire, changing to match the energy of the waves of the magma beneath the earth. Just as the body becomes accustomed to life on a ship and feels wavy when it returns to shore, we are moving with the waves of the fire, becoming accustomed to our consciousness also, spiritually empowered to be with the flame whenever we so desire and so need. Powering up and powering up. The heat is growing, the blessings are growing. Everything rising and rising. Everything's starting to move faster and faster. The waves buffeting us. When we see that ring of fire, that opening of the magma chamber of the volcano, as we now feel the fire taking us and bearing us aloft, erupting, our fire erupting as well. Our desires, our willpower, our esteem, our consciousness, reaching the heavens above and the moon through this volcanic lava and fire energy, through this power. We are held in this great ring of fire, at the level of the moon, which will slowly turn into the crescent, encapsulated and given one final true gift for this lunar cycle to come. Receiving your final moments of clarity, of blessings, opening you to new beginnings, to the abundance of you in your best and fiery self, receiving downloads from the moon and the stars, the power of the volcano, rewriting the codes of your DNA, re-magnifying your atoms as they buzz around in quantum space. Knowing that you have the power and that all is yours for the taking. You are offered final moments of joy and magnificence. May there be only happiness coming to you through the magic of this new moon in Aries. I'm going to count down, and when I reach 0, we will have been returned from this temple place back into our rooms, back into the moment of now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Thank you to those who watched on Facebook and those who left comments. Much appreciated. Thank you. I will now stop the live stream here. I'm going to stop the audio share and I'll stop the recording.